artificial intelligence is more beneficial.
Artificial intelligence may be harmful to the humankind.
Two things artificial intelligence will be missing. What's interesting is like 80% of total orders
It gets impacted positively more than
Artificial intelligence may be
Welcome to the E-Talk. At E-Talk, we discuss about 5 E's, that is Earth, Environment, Energy, Economy, and Education. I am today joined by the 3 brilliant panelists. On my left is Haja, she's from Algeria. On my right is Novudita, she's from Sri Lanka. And on my far right is Samir from Nepal. Haja is an artificial intelligence expert. Novedita is a business expert, and Samir is an international relations expert. What do you personally believe that whether the artificial intelligence does more good than harm, or the vice versa?
I'm actually with the fact that artificial intelligence is more beneficial than it's harmful to the human race.
I believe that artificial intelligence may be harmful to the humankind.
Let's come to the debate, because we want to have an experiment. Let's, for example, we have already feeded the topic, the debate on ChatGPT, that whether the AI development will be more beneficial than harmful or more harmful than beneficial. Let's have a look at what it comes up with.
First, people can use AI in very unethical ways. They can use it for unethical deeds, and they can use for, like, even the government can use it as a weapon. And so I believe the AI could do more harm than good.
This is one side. For example, if we speak economics, the economic bubbles, we can avoid them now using algorithms that actually can study the risks of each economic decision made, and then we can avoid having an economic bubble, for example. So yeah, it has its downside, obviously, but I feel like it's more beneficial than it's harmful for us as a human race.
Samir, let me bring this to you. Obviously, you have your own opinions about the development of artificial intelligence and its implications. What do you think that it is more harmful or beneficial? In what way, and how do you think this way?
like from the name itself, it's like clear. It's like artificial intelligence, and what artificial intelligence is lacking two things. First, it lacks ethics. Second, it lacks emotion. So it cannot like really perform like a human being. It will just look after the command. So it's just gonna follow the commander. These two things, artificial intelligence will be missing.
Let's watch the VCR that what other things it can bring as far as the artificial intelligence is concerned.
In recent years, artificial intelligence has continued to make breakthroughs, and as an important cornerstone for the implementation of AI technology, chips, the oil of the 21st century, have tremendous industrial value and strategic status. However, the US implemented chip export ban in 2022, severely restricting not only chip exports from technology companies to China, but also the flow of talent and equipment. Japan also plans to tighten export controls on 6 categories of 23 types of semiconductor manufacturing equipment, effective on July 23rd this year.
Recently, there was a ban, again on the chip development from the United States of America and later joined by the Japan. Do you personally perceive and believe that this kind of tactics emanating from the United States of America under the guise of protectionism, as what they call it. Do you think it is justified?
I actually don't see a logical or economic justification for this particular ban, because as we know, China is one of the biggest markets when it comes to smart chips. Actually, China by itself is also one of the countries that produce chips. It's just that with the level of technology, like the most mature chips are made from either the United States or Japan or Netherlands for that matter. So I don't see any economic justification from cutting the biggest market for your product. But politically, they want a control on specific fields in technology that requires that type of chips. So limiting other countries from accessing to that type of smart chips will give them the upper hand when it comes to those types of technology.
One of the, aspect is from United States is to control the China's technological development, because the way China has already, speed up its technological advancement. Do you think so that by doing such tactics or by imposing such curbs, any country for that matter can stop another country?
So I think like in this age, in this era, you cannot stop anyone in terms of when you prohibited everything, when you stop selling China to everything. What I think is China has no way than developing its chips by itself in a long run. And there are also some reports that have been seen, like China has started using the weaker semiconductors and chips, and they have like started combination of this just to bypass the reliance on chips of United States, Netherlands and Japan.
One of the raw materials used on making these smart chips is silicon. And China is one of the countries that has the most silicon in the world. So by stopping China from buying those chips, she already have the raw materials. She have the engineers, they can pay to develop the research on this field. So it's just a matter of time that China can get its own smart chips.
Also, I have heard that African countries are replete with the raw material.
Yeah, yes, indeed. A lot of African countries, like South Africa, mainly, Nigeria, these countries are also markets for the raw materials. And then if you prevent certain companies from selling, like the American companies from selling the chips, that means they have to reduce the production. Once they reduce the production, that means they don't buy more. So these countries will eventually start selling to someone else.
Now imposing a ban on them will hurt them individually and as well as will hurt the overall economy of the United States.
Implementing those kind of policies have a very negative impact, such as NVIDIA, ASML, and many other companies. They already cut off their employees. They have retained stocks that they cannot sell to other countries. Not only the overall economy of United States, but I think it will have a negative impact on the global economy by itself.
There has been reports that tells us that almost NVIDIA lost like $400 million just in one quarter.
Yes.
Because
Absolutely.
US restrict China from buying it.
Yes.
And along with it, like the 5% of sales has already fell down along with it. And not only NVIDIA, US, we can just relate with the ASML, which manufactures lithography machine, which is like basically used for high cutting edge of chips. And what's interesting is like 80% of total orders of that chips come from China.
By using such tactics, what do you think so that it will have its implications individually on countries like China, India?
So for India, now they are buying those chips from other countries, but they actually can start their own chip marketing that also have the raw material to make the chips. They might get impacted, positively more than negatively.
If we look at the positive consequences, China will be independent. China don't have to rely on the US or Netherlands or Japan. And China have the capability, China have the resources, China have the capital to invest in R&D, and they can make their own chip. If I talk about negative consequences, I think the only thing I can think of is that it can take a longer time. It will take long, and China may lose the competitive advantage.
Yes, in the short term.
Yes, in the short term.
We had a very enlightening debate about the artificial intelligence today amongst my brilliant speakers who came up with a variety of views. But at the same time, I think this is the real time when the world needs to decide that where we are heading to, whether it can take over humans' capacity or capability. I think it's a debate now, and only time can tell. Thank you very much. I will see you next time.